Hey, it's Chef Evelyn here, and welcome back to another video. And so, listen, I'm doing this series for you over my winter sabbatical because I really want you to, get your mind right and your business right and your life right for this new year. And in this video, you can tell by the title, it's like how to give yourself a raise in the new year. And let me tell you why I decided to do this video as a topic. It's because I remember for those of you who are new here, or for those of you who may not know, depending on when you've started watching or discovered my videos, but before I was a chef, I was a chemical and environmental engineer, and I was working for a Fortune 50 company. So not just a Fortune 100, Fortune 50 company. And I remember, I think it was maybe my second year on the job, I remember it was time for raises, right? It was that time of year. And so I remember going to my manager's office and, getting my performance review and what my raise was going to be. And that particular year, I received a 1% raise. And I remember being so confused because I remember that, my department's performance was some of the best, not only in the region, but in the country. I remember that we had kind of hit all of our key performance indicators, our KPIs, if you will. If you've been in corporate, you know what I'm talking about, right? I remember like, okay, I've hit all my goals. I've surpassed all my goals. They explained to me how we're here. And I remember he said, well, this is all that's in the budget. And let me tell you what I know about corporate. That's never the case, right? I was like, there's too many people, unless everybody got a 1% raise, then there's something off here, right? And I remember y'all, I was so heated. I mean, I was just like, how do I have the best performance and I have the worst raise, right? And I remember sliding the paper back to him and saying, I'm not going to sign that. And I got up from his desk and I left for the day. I left for the day. I was angry is an understatement. And I remember thinking to myself, am I going to go back? Because I didn't like the fact that this is what we agreed to, that if I hit these metrics, if I hit these goals, if I do these things, that it still could just be, we changed our mind. We're going to give you 1%. And what's interesting about that story is years later, when I had moved on to another position higher up in the company, my old manager told me that the reason why he gave me a 1% raise is because he was nervous that I was going to take his job, that I was doing so well for being so young and so new to the company that he thought I was going to take his job. And I remember when I got that 1% raise saying, I need to be in a position where nobody gets to determine my worth. I said, if I put in this amount of effort, I want to be directly compensated for the amount of impact that I'm having, right? And I remember thinking, wow, so what you're telling me is it doesn't matter how hard I work or how diligent I work or how much I hit the goals, right? That if you just decide you don't want to give me a raise, in line with the contributions that I made with the company, then I have no recourse, right? And I remember I said, that's the last time I'm going to leave my earnings potential up to someone other than myself, right? And so, I wanted to do this video because maybe you're still in a job right now, or, maybe you're working for yourself and you're like, listen, I love what I'm doing, but that salary needs to increase, right? I want to talk to you about how you can increase your income, because, having somebody externally tell you that, and then another time I remember being in a meeting with a gentleman who was several years my senior, and we were trying to brainstorm a solution to a problem. And I remember that for the entirety of that meeting, he contributed nothing. He said nothing. He offered nothing. And you get a feel for how much more somebody makes, because I was like, okay, at that point, he was like 15 years my senior. And I said to myself, I said, wow. It doesn't matter how many ideas I give them and how engaged I am. He's always going to make more money than me because he's just been doing it longer. And I was like, but he's not doing anything. And I was like, again, I didn't agree with that philosophy. I was like, I want to be compensated based on the value that I'm providing, right? Well, only entrepreneurship really does that for you. And so if you're thinking about jumping into chefpreneurship full time, or if you're already in it and you're like, Evelyn, listen, I need to figure out a way to give myself a raise in this new year, then this is the video for you. Listen, and one of the things that we're going to be talking about in the upcoming Chef Care Superclass, which is happening January 10th through the 13th of 2022, is we're going to be talking about, okay, if you're at this phase in your business, what is it going to take to get to the next level, right? If one of your goals is to increase your income in your business, we're going to look at where you are right now and what is it going to take to get you to the next level, right? And so that way you know exactly what steps that you need to take in order to increase your income. But let's chat about it a little bit here, right? So if you've been rocking with me for a while, I always have notes because I value your time. And so let's get into it. So the first thing you need to do to give yourself a raise in this new year is to create a brand that allows you to charge higher prices, right? That allows you to charge premium prices, right? And so you have to ask yourself, like, if you've tried to raise your prices and people kind of like bark at your prices or gawk at your prices, either your brand is not communicating that it's worth that higher price point, or you're not drawing the kind of people who can or are willing or happy to pay that price point, right? So either way, there's either the messaging of your brand is off or some other things are off. So either you're not projecting that you're the kind of brand that charges premium prices, or you're not attracting, right, the kind of clients that can, willing, and are happy to pay a higher price point. So in order to increase your income in the new year, you need to really build a brand that draws higher prices, because a lot of people think, okay, well, let me just go get more clients. It's like, well, you're going to end up working yourself to death, right? Because some of y'all, your client load is full. It's that your prices are too low, and you haven't really figured out how you're going to increase your prices and justify the increase, right? And if you want to know how to do that, let's come on over to this Chef Care Superclass, because we're going to be talking about it, right? Okay. The second thing is you need to learn, okay, once I built this high-end brand that can command higher prices, then you need to learn, how do I attract those high-end buyers, right? Like, what do I need to be doing so that people who have the means and who have the desire and, can actually pay me that, what do I need to be doing to attract them to my business? Because you can build this brand all day, which you need, right? But if nobody comes to visit, or the only people that are coming to visit are people that can't afford it, it's kind of like, then what are you doing? It's kind of like if you had a luxury store, right? You could build a luxury store all day out in the woods. If nobody knows about it, they're not coming. Or if, Tarzan and Jane, who live in the woods, know about it, that's great, but they can't afford it, right? So you need to know, what do I need to be doing every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year to be attracting these higher paying clients to my business? Because when you attract higher paying clients and then you have a brand that commands higher prices, you earn more, thereby giving yourself a raise, okay? And then the third thing is you need to learn how to make money when you're not working. Because one of the things I know about this industry is that it's very like hands-on, service-based, labor-intensive. And I've told this story before, that when I was working for this catering company many, many years ago, the owner of the catering company was ready to retire. But he had a dilemma that if he retired, then the money stopped because he wasn't working, right? And he said he knew it was a problem. The same thing had happened when it came to, him wanting to go on vacation, that if he ever stopped working, the money stopped coming, and he didn't know how to get himself out of it. So the only option that he had was he was going to sell his catering business and, sell his contacts and client lists, his equipment, his recipes. And I remember him asking me if I wanted to buy it. And I had the forethought to say, like, no, because I thought, if this is where you are and you're, 20 years older than me or 30 years older than me, if this is where you are, I will end up here as well, right? And so I remember spending time with a couple, learning really how to take, any skill set you have and monetize it in a way that you can make money while you're sleeping. And I have been doing that since 2010, right? And so I can tell you that, having ways to make income where I don't have to be in the kitchen all the time is amazing. That was one of the measures of success for me, right? And so, you know, when we go through the self-care super class and you're there and you're thinking about, you know, what is success going to look like for me? It could be that, hey, I don't want to have to work all the time in order for the money to still be coming in, right? I know that was something that was very, very important to me and that I thought was kind of impossible for a chef because, like, by nature, we are a service-based industry. And so, you know, you have to be in service and physically being there to make money. But I kind of asked myself like that Airbnb and Uber question, like, how can I be a hotel and not own hotels? How can I be a cab company and not have cars? I was like, how can I be a chef and work from home? Or like, how can I be a chef and not have to cook all the time, right? I asked myself a different question. And listen, when you ask yourself a different question, you get a different answer, okay? So, you know, one of my favorite lessons in entrepreneurship is you never say, I can't. You never say, I can't afford it. I can't do that. I can't. You really have to change your mindset and go, how can I? Because when you ask a different question, again, you get a different answer. And so when I asked a different question of, how can I work from home? How can I earn money when I'm not working and still be a chef? Like, how can I do that? Right? Then you get a different answer. And so listen, if that's something that's like tickling your fancy, okay, then make sure you sign up for the Chef Care Superclass, which is happening January 10th through the 13th, 2020. All the details are at chefevelyn.com/superclass. So you can go there, read all about it, look at the agenda, what we're going to be covering each day, right? And then you can sign up to grab your spot. So if you're in a place where you're like, I want to give myself a raise in this new year, make sure that you build a brand that can command higher prices, right? And you know what goes into that and what to do that. Okay. Secondly, is you want to know how to attract those higher paying clients to your business. And then the third thing is you need to learn how to make sleep. I wish we could make sleep, okay? You need to learn how to make money when you're not working. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in the super class. Like I said, that's January 10th through the 13th, 2020. If you go to chefevelyn.com/superclass, you can register there and I will see you in my next video. Peace.